Welcome back to our Bacalar road trip series. In the previous video, we stayed steps away from the Bacalar lagoon, explored Bacalar Centro, and visited the Eco Park Bacalar. In this video, we kayaked the Xul-Ha lagoon, spent a day at Laguna Bonanza, and drifted through Los Rápidos. So stay tuned as we continue our Bacalar adventure. We last left off heading further south of Bacalar to the tiny village of Xul-Ha, where we'll be staying the next few days at an Airbnb right on the Xul-Ha lagoon. We'll leave a link in the description. Xul-Ha means water's end in Mayan, as it's on the southernmost end of the Bacalar lagoon. We chose to stay here because we wanted to stay on a lakefront property, but it was a lot more affordable here compared to in Bacalar, and we weren't sure how difficult access to the lagoon would be in Bacalar. After checking out the accommodations, it was time to eat dinner and get some groceries for our stay in Xul-Ha. We got in the car and headed east to the closest city, Chetumal, right on the border with Belize. We chose a restaurant with a good rating, but the food took forever and we didn't even get the hamburger that we waited for about an hour. So we can't recommend this place because of that awful experience. So Steph's brother still wanted a hamburger, so he went to this restaurant with over 40,000 locations in over 100 countries. We figured they wouldn't let us down. What are you? And they didn't.
In USA.
Service here was awesome, super clean, staff walking around to check on us, and they even offered to snap some pics of us, so thanks McDonald's for the great service. The McDonald's was located right next door to the supermarket, so we stopped there for groceries and then headed back to the Airbnb. The next morning I woke up early so I could check out the lagoon while everyone else was still getting ready. I met this sweet cat named Aria, who actually lives on the property, so that was a nice surprise. The lagoon was calm and tranquil with just one other kayaker on the water. Here's me showing off my impressive balance on the stand-up paddleboard.
Uy, uy. Ah, no, todo está del conchudo. Ah. Careful, baby. Uy.
Finally, the rest of the family was up, so we grabbed the kayaks and spent several hours exploring the Xul-Ha lagoon. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. We love sharing our travel vlogs with you, and our dream is to do this full time.
Típico. Todos, me vas a pegar, hueva. Why selfish? Jerk.
We probably kayaked a couple of kilometers up the lagoon before making our way back. Say bye to the cat. After that, we had worked up quite an appetite, so we headed into town to find something to eat. In Xul-Ha, there's pretty much only these type of small convenience stores. Next door, there was a small vegetable shop, and then we finally found a place to buy some meat, which looked like somebody's house. They only had pork, so we picked up some pork chops and headed back to the Airbnb to cook. Steph always says she will not cook on her vacations, but here's her cooking for us anyway. What are you doing? You're cooking? Here's her cleaning, which is another thing that she says she will never do when she's on vacation. After that delicious meal, we did some more kayaking on the lagoon. Here's me passed out on the dock afterwards from exhaustion. What are you going? The next day we headed back up north towards Bacalar to visit Los Rápidos. It's a narrow section between the Xul-Ha and Bacalar lagoons, lined with stromatolites and mangroves that forms a natural lazy river. It says don't use the laguna to go to the bathroom. You, that sign's for you.
That sign is for James. Do not be in there.
Most people go straight to Los Rápidos, but we saw some negative reviews, so we heard the locals go to a nearby Laguna Bonanza instead, and from there it's possible to swim to Los Rápidos. Of course, we prefer the local experience, so we went to Laguna Bonanza instead. Entry was 80 pesos per person, and they do rent out kayaks for 200 pesos per hour. Steph and her brother are excellent swimmers, so we decided to rent one kayak and they would follow behind us swimming. Even kayaking there took a lot of energy from me, so I don't want to imagine what it was like for them swimming all the way. But eventually we did make it to Los Rápidos, and it was an awesome experience. The shores of Los Rápidos are lined with stromatolites, the oldest living life forms on the planet, appearing about 3.5 billion years ago. It was difficult maneuvering the kayak around the people floating, and after accidentally bumping into some people and having to apologize, we got out of the kayak and floated along next to the kayak. We got back a little late, so they charged us for an extra hour anyway. We probably should have just rented 2 kayaks to begin with. Laguna Bonanza was a really nice place to spend the day, but if you're visiting Los Rápidos, we probably recommend going straight there instead. Tonight was pizza night on the itinerary. I found 2 pizza places in Xul-Ha. The first one we got to said they were closing early because they ran out of ingredients. The second one, we went down some dark road in the jungles and couldn't even find it. So we ended up driving down the highway to the next town, where we saw a pizza place on the side of the road called Madonna's. They had a wood fire oven and all their pizzas were 2 for 1, so it was a really good deal. So join us for the next video where we take a boat tour on the lagoon and then head back to Cancun where we meet a famous YouTuber. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.